So we've come to Bracklesham Beach on the south coast of England, a great spot for fossil hunting for sharks of Eocene age, about 45 to 46 million years ago. Back in the Eocene, this would have been a really nice, warm, sunny, subtropical, shallow sea, beautiful blue skies, probably, well, you know, rainstorms, but tropical rainstorms, nice and warm, you know. I wish I was back there so much.
I feel warm in my ass.
Please send me back to the Eocene. This is a disaster.
Bracklesham Beach is a fantastic place to find shark teeth and other fossils dating to about 45 million years ago, during a time called the Eocene epoch. Well, to celebrate Shark Week 2023, I decided to go and try my luck here and see what sorts of fossils I could find. As you'll see, not everything went entirely to plan, but that's the unpredictable nature of fossil hunting. And in the end, we did manage to find some pretty spectacular shark fossils. So join me and the Boneheads crew on this shark adventure as we brave the British summertime and explore what sharks were swimming around here over 45 million years ago.
So the beds we're looking in here, they should be exposed kind of out to sea. So you've got to wait for quite a low tide. There's about 4 different, there are lots of different beds that have been identified. There's 4 main beds that we're after, and they're named after the most abundant type of fossils you find in them. So there's the Turritella bed, which is where the gastropods, the spiral gastropods, are very abundant. There's the Cardita bed, which is a type of bivalve. It's been renamed to Venericore. There's the pallet bed, which has got lots of vertebrate remains, the ray pallet teeth and stuff. And there's the Nummelites bed, which is the foraminiferan, very large foraminiferan. We'll find loads of those, and I'll talk a bit about them. But yeah, they kind of expose in sort of mushroom-shaped exposures out to sea. I think they're largely covered up by sand right now. You need quite a low tide and not much sand kind of covering this, and you'll be able to see kind of bands of where these fossils are already abundant, and then it's easy to identify which bed you're looking at. But the fossils also, you know, wash up onto shore and get collected by the groins and in all of the shingle. So that's where we're going to be looking now. If we can find any of those beds though, that'd be really good, because I'd love to actually see them. I don't think I've ever seen them actually exposed, and it'd be cool to find them for the video. But yeah, let's get to looking for some more. What have you got? Oh nice, you got a Turritella already. That's great. It's a gastropod from, probably deriving from the Turritella bed. Yeah, 45, 46 million year old gastropod. Very nice. Explain yourself. Why are you fossil hunting on a wet beach where there is water in Crocs?
Do you want me to get to that? Get the cokes out.
Your sock's not a bit damp. Oh, you found a nice one. Another Turritella, or it might be another gastropod genus. I don't know. I only know Turritella. Okay, so you've just managed to find some really nice Nummelites. I don't know if that's how you actually say it, Nummelites, but they're a type of foraminiferan. So usually forams are very small, like under 2 millimeters. We've done many studying of them in our paleontology degree. We had to do a whole project on them. But these are, this genus Nummelites. They're very common at Bracklesham. We'll come back with loads of them, and they kind of look like coins. They've got really cool sort of spiral structures inside. Like if they're weathered, you can kind of see it. But yeah, they're just this kind of microorganism that lives in the oceans, and these are an exceptionally huge type of forams that you can find at Bracklesham, growing to a maximum of 18 millimeters in diameter, I think. So compare that to the usual under 2 millimeters, and you can kind of see why these are giants of their kind. So that is a really cool discovery. Well done. That one in particular is quite a massive one. Let's see if we can find some bigger ones. He just dropped it. So just to show you how abundant the Nummelites forams actually are, there's one. I'm probably missing. There were a load here. There's some. There's one. Just in this tiny patch, there will be so many. I'm probably just blind right now. But yeah, there are definitely a lot in here. Yeah, there's a couple. They are just everywhere, and obviously these are much smaller ones, but you can find massive ones, as you've seen. Okay, this is probably a better indication of how common these, or abundant these Nummelites are. There's loads in there, just these little circly bits. There. Too many to point out. There's quite a big one there. Quite cool. Yeah, they are just everywhere on this beach. So if you are a fan of forams, turritellas as well, yeah. But if you're a fan of forams for whatever reason, then be sure to head down to Bracklesham. You can get so many of these giant ones. Very cool. So these are some of the best places to actually look for the fossils, where all of the larger sediment bits of flint kind of accumulate by the sea defences. So this is where we will probably start looking for the shark teeth and rays and whatever other vertebrate remains we may find. You got a massive Venericore. So those would be from the Cardita beds. That is super nice. Is it just from here?
Yeah, I just saw another one back there. I didn't take it.
Oh, right. So do you think the beds are actually exposed in this bed?
I think they've been washed out further in.
Okay.
So they've been washed in. So because you can see they're not fully complete. So
yeah, there's a bit of abrasion. Oh wow, that's a nice one.
Annoyingly, dog.
Oh, fishing.
So that is going to go in the box when we've eaten the rocky road. Clean up after yourselves, guys.
So you can find other bivalves apart from Venericore in the Cardita beds, and this is one of the oysters you just found. Very nice.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever found one of those from them.
Oysters here, but
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of bivalve
fauna.
Bivalves you can find here, but obviously Venericore is most common. Whoa!
Don't know if it's old, it might be modern, but it is absolutely
it might be.
cased in algae and
crusters.
yeah.
Oh yeah, bryozoans and stuff. That's so cool.
Oh wow.
Bit of a nasty find, but not too bad.
Anyway, after all those invertebrate fossil finds, it was about time that some vertebrate remains started turning up.
Okay, well, not quite a shark, but it appears, if I'm not mistaken, that I have a bit of a ray dental plate here. Not the best I've found, very fragmentary, but these are the hard crushing pallets that they'd use to crush down on their hard-shelled prey. You can sort of see some of the ridged surface and then a bit of the flat surface. Yeah, it's a start. Not the best I've ever found. It's not shark tooth, but it is a ray, so it's a Neosalacian. So it's quite a cool bit of wood here, very filled with pyrite. You can kind of see how it shines in the light a tiny bit. So this is sadly definitely going to decay over time, but that's really quite nice. It's quite heavy. Yeah, bit of wood, again, washed from the terrestrial environment, not too far from here. Quite cool.
One method that I'd attempted before at Bracklesham was to use a sieve to filter through all the sand and sediment in order to spot some tiny shark teeth, and I've been fairly successful with this in the past, so I thought I'd give it another go.
So I'm going to attempt some sieving now. I've got this 1mm sieve, and I'm just going to fill it up with some sediment, wash it out, see if I can find any tiny bits of shark teeth, ray dental plates in there. The groins would be the best place to do it, so let's see if that's successful.
Go on.
Oh my god, oh my god. It has finally paid off after too long sieving. I have finally got one. I don't know if you can see, but right in there, if that focuses, I will be sure to get some nice ones. Yeah, you can see it. That is absolutely a very nice shark tooth. Probably Stratolamia. I'll have to ask Eddie, the resident shark expert. And I mean, these things are tiny, so you see the sort of scale we're dealing with here. They are so small. I mean, you can find bigger ones. You can find Otodus, the same genus as Megalodon, not Megalodon itself, but a kind of precursor of it. So I'm going to be very careful and get this one into storage. So yeah, at least that's something. There we go. Shark Week mission completed. So
You want to put it in my hand so you can see?
yeah, hang on. I really do not want to drop this. So you can see, I mean, very distinctive with the two tiny cusps on either side. That is a really nice one. I can't believe that survived so well. It's tiny. So yeah, let's be very careful with this. Thank you.
So I just mentioned the name Striatolamia. This is the most common shark that you'll find at Bracklesham Beach, and it's a very widespread genus of shark, with its fossil teeth being found in Europe, the Americas, Asia, and also in Antarctica. It's related to the modern-day sand tiger shark, and some individuals could actually grow to fairly large sizes.
Conditions are worsening now, as you can quite plainly see. I don't know how I've done it again, but yeah, another absolutely unbelievably tiny one there. Just on the tip of my finger there. It's just the crown, no cusplets, looks like. I mean, sieving is obviously the way to go. Again, this is going to be a very difficult one to kind of put away without losing it completely. But yeah, quite happy with that. 2 teeth so far. Apparently Eddie's found a couple too, so that's very good news. I don't know how long we'll be staying for, considering what has happened to the weather. It is July and it is freezing right now, so that's fun. But that's the joy of fossil hunting. Let's go.
Well, the weather got a lot worse. Without much cover on the beach, it became a bit miserable to continue to fossil hunt, and so we decided that we'd return another day.
Yeah, so we're making a tactical retreat right now. We're gonna come back when it's sunnier, you know, maybe in August or something. Not July. Maybe we chose the wrong month. I don't know. I just thought, you know, it would be a nice day for it. But apparently not. I want to go back to the Eocene, please. Make it warm again. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this part 1 of part 1 of the video. There'll be more. Hopefully we'll return and be much nicer. We'll find even more shark teeth. But this is the life of a fossil hunter. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this insight. Okay, so after that disastrous end to our last fossil hunting expedition at Bracklesham, we have now returned, minus Hamza and Eddie, but plus Amelia over there. And the weather's a little bit better today, so we are quite relieved to be here. Tide's all right, you know, fairly low. We're here at low tide right now, and we are going to continue looking for, hopefully, some shark teeth, see what else we can find. So let's hope things go better this time. Okay, so off to a better start already this time. Literally just in this patch here that you can see, there's a lot of the Nummelites, the forams and stuff, bits of fragments of shells and the gastropods. I literally just have found a crown. I'll get close up to this later, but yeah, this is amazing. There's no root to it and there's no like lateral cusplets, but that's quite a sizable crown for this area, so I'm very happy with that. Probably Stratalamia. I'll confirm with Eddie, but almost certain that's what it is. So wow, well, a good start already. I'm very happy about that. Let's go, Shark Week! Okay, I can't believe this. This is gonna be a good day. I've just found, you can probably see in my hand there, look how massive that is. That is the largest tooth I've found here. It's not complete, so you can see there's one half of the root there. And then I think that probably is a break, so there's only part of the crown, and then the other bit of the root is missing. But I mean, this is just incredible. I'm so happy with this. Again, this is in the first like 10 minutes of looking. Eddie is going to be quite jealous, I think. I mean, he's got better stuff than this, but still. I'm very happy about that. So yeah, let's keep looking. I mean, this is apparently a good place to spot them.
What have you got?
Massive Nummelites. Yeah, I think they can get even bigger than this, but that's quite a cool one. If you like forams. So the actual environment that the Ernley Formation, where we're finding these fossils from, would have represented was quite a warm, shallow subtropical sea. Average sort of sea surface temperatures are about 18 degrees Celsius and water depths of between 10 to 30 meters. So relatively, really quite shallow. It was at a similar latitude back then as where Spain or Greece is now. And there's evidence that land was quite close by. I think it's about 50 kilometers to the west. There was land with quite a nice sort of subtropical rainforest, lots of plant material there, which we can find evidence of being washed out into the sea. And that's why we find bits of pyritized wood, some seeds and such. And obviously, yeah, this environment of the Ernley Formation, these shallow seas, would have been home to all sorts of different fishes, sharks, rays, and you also get evidence of some terrestrial animals being washed in again. You can find turtles, you can find crocodilians. So yeah, a really nice little subtropical environment. Nothing really like what it's today, but this is the sort of place that that you should be thinking of in terms of, you know, the animals that we're finding here, and that's what we'd expect to find. So yeah. So about 60 different species of sharks and rays are actually known from the Ernley Formation, and by far the most common one you find here is a genus called Stratalamia, which Eddie will tell you more about. He's done his dissertation on sharks, and it includes a lot of Stratolamia. But another interesting one you can find here is a shark called Otodus auriculatus. You may recognize the genus name Otodus. It's because it's the same genus that Megalodon belongs to. Megalodon is Otodus megalodon, and Otodus auriculatus is a much older ancestor of Megalodon. So I would be very, very pleased if we could find an ancestor of Megalodon on this beach. Don't think I have yet. I think we've mostly found Stratolamia, but yeah, we will be keeping an eye out for some Otodus.
While I was finding a few shark teeth, Emilia and Quinn had headed further up the beach and managed to find an amazing ray dental plate.
So we just found a ray plate. It's really beautiful. It's actually really nicely preserved. Look how sharp the edges are. I think it's from the edge. I don't know ray plates, but it's a really nice specimen.
Very nice specimen. Totally not jealous in the slightest. But what you've missed is this absolutely beautiful foraminifera right here. So
Shut up.
Don't mean to make you jealous or anything, but this one's mine.
Nobody likes foraminiferas. Off.
So since we last came, I've done a little bit more reading about Bracklesham. And turns out those mushroom-shaped deposits where you can actually see the bands that represent the different beds, they are usually exposed for several years at a time, and you only really get to see them when it's like scouring conditions and a lot of the sand has been taken off. So that explains why we can't see them, and we probably won't be able to see them for a while. And yeah, it would be cool to come back when they are exposed, but that's probably not going to be for some time. But I'll show images of what they actually look like. Now you can see the bands of those abundant fossils. So yeah, it would be nice to see them one day.
But after having said that, Emilia and Quinn did actually then manage to find a small exposure of one of the in situ beds further along the beach.
So this here is the exposure that the fossils actually come from. So you can see the rocky sort of like outcrop from the sediment. And if we get in really close, you can see loads of examples of those gastropod fossils, so Tariatella. It's all over the rocky outcrop. So yeah, that is ideally what would be exposed all the way along the beach. But the exposure's not fantastic at the moment. I don't know when the last time it was that good, but that's really cool to see.
Okay, so let's have a look right here. See that? That is a really nice one, really tiny one. It's a ray dental plate. You can see those ridges all along here. That's the surface that would have been embedded in the jaw of the ray, and then if we turn it over, you can see it's flatter on the other side. And that's what they'd use to crush the hard-shelled prey that they're feeding on. Oh, that is such a nice little ray dental plate right there. Wow. Very lucky find. Not a shark, but it is an Eosalacian again, so related to them. Rays, sharks and skates. Very cool. Okay, so as well as the groins that you can see in the background here, that are good for kind of accumulating sediment and therefore the fossils, another good place to look is actually just on the foreshore itself at low tides. But you look in the areas of like coarser grained material that's sort of accumulated in patches. Apparently, and I mean this is what I've read and now kind of seen for myself, if you look for patches that have a particular high abundance of like broken shells, like the Venericore and the Turritella gastropods, that's where you're most likely to find vertebrate remains, so shark teeth and such. So yeah, it's just some more good fossil hunting advice for Bracklesham. Just look for these patches on the foreshore at low tide, look for lots of different bits of shells mixed in there, and hopefully you'll be able to spot some shark teeth amongst all of that. So yeah. Okay, so we've literally just been doing a little bit more sieving here, and we have found what might be the most tiny shark tooth I have ever seen. Pretty sure that is like 1/2 of a shark tooth, but it is just unbelievably small. Did not expect that to turn up in the sieve. That's crazy. Damn, that has to have been a baby shark or something. Cannot believe we found that. So we're going to be very careful with that. Try and keep it safe somehow. Try not to lose it. Wow.
Two dogs doing dog stuff. Are they gonna kiss? Oh no. No, they did not.
Alright, so we just made a series of very cool little finds here. I've got a ray dental plate. I have another quite nice tooth that has one of the cusplets attached, very thinly it looks like, and then a really cool little it looks like one of the lateral teeth. So the teeth to the sides of the jaws are quite different shapes to the ones at the front, and I think that's what I've got here. I'll confirm again with Eddie, the shark expert. But yeah, really pleased with these. I just want to make sure they don't blow away. Don't know if that's focusing, but again I can get better shots later. There's the one with the tiny bit cuspers attached. This is the lateral side one, and that's the ray dental plate. And I'm gonna keep those safe before they blow away. Wind has just picked up again, and it's been raining a little bit. It fell some spots, but very successful day so far. Very happy about this. Okay, so something that might be quite useful for anyone intending to come and fossil hunt at Bracklesham themselves is how do you actually recognize the fossil bivalves that you can find here. So these are some of the most common fossils you will find. Hopefully you can, well, hopefully our videos will show you how to identify shark teeth. But in terms of the bivalves, these are the venericore bivalves that you can find, very common in certain beds. And the best thing to look for, really, is the absence of any colour in them. That's how you can kind of tell that they are fossil shells. So you've got the mussel, slipper limpet, oyster and razor clam. These are all modern shells, and you can tell because they have varieties of different colours still on them. So obviously the very dark colours here, the iridescent sort of shining on the mussel. Slipper limpet has quite a few different colours, and so does a razor clam. But it's very distinct how you can see the lack of colour in the venericore bivalves, which have been lost over the fossilization process. So yeah, that's just a quick and easy kind of general way of identifying them, and then once you've found a few, you'll be able to kind of tell that this is the shape and the anatomy of a venericore bivalve. They all, have that sort of similar shape, and obviously the modern ones are all very different. But you can also find other species and genera of fossil bivalves here, and again they'll have that sort of lack of colour. It's kind of the best, easiest way to spot them. And there are a lot on the beach, so yeah, hopefully that's helpful to anyone who might want to come here. Okay, I'm a very happy shark fan right now. This might be find of the day. Look at that. Pretty much complete. Got the lateral cusplet. I think it's missing on the other side, but the crown is entirely there. I am so pleased with that. Again, probably Stratolamia, but I will confirm with Eddie. It's just the most common one you find here. This has to be the nicest tooth I've ever found at Bracklesham. I know people come back with way larger ones than this, but for me, I am very happy, and I will call this a successful fossil hunting day. Wow. Okay, so this is just getting better and better. I've just been looking in these patches. I think I've a bit more got the hang of how you actually find fossils at Bracklesham. I've had to switch to another box because I've been finding so much. And look at this one that I just found. Another, again, Stratolamia, pretty sure. It is, probably the biggest tooth I've ever found here, actually. And looks to be almost entirely intact, maybe missing just the tip and one of the lateral cusplets. Oh, I'm so happy with that. The rest of this is mostly ray dental plates. There's another tooth there, a bit of a tooth there as well, cross section of one. There's another cross section. But yeah, I'm so happy with this. It has been an amazing day at Bracklesham. So many fossil sharks are biting today, so it's been so fun. Well, we've had a very successful fossil hunting trip this time. It's now starting to rain again. The weather has turned, as it keeps seeming to do. But I'm very happy with what I found. Filled up 2 small boxes, but with a lot of shark teeth and ray dental plates. And I think also some possible fish pellets. I will kind of show these in more detail at home, and I'll do a bit of a review of what we have here. But yeah, Bracklesham is such a good place to come. It's very easy to get to. There's no dangerous cliffs or anything. Obviously, got to keep an eye on the tides. But yeah, there are so many shark teeth here, more than I've realised when I've come here in previous years. Now that I actually know how to find them a bit better than I did before. So yeah, definitely come to Bracklesham if you can.
Okay, so welcome back. I am home now, and I just thought I'd show you a bit of a summary of what I managed to find on that shark fossil hunting expedition. So I've got another camera set up here. I'm just going to kind of show you some nice close-ups of the amazing shark teeth I actually managed to find. I'm very, very pleased with what I found
on this trip, or these 2 trips I suppose, and yeah, got lots of shark teeth, lots of ray dental plates, and possibly some fish pellets, although I'm not entirely sure still. They might just be bits of ray dental plates, so let's do that. So then, here are the really, really nice shark teeth. They're not laid out in any particular order, just kind of all there. That's everything I found on the second trip. And then over here are all of the ray dental plates that I managed to find. Really, really nice. So let's take a look at some of these. So you can see like this one is really nice with the striations on it, and you can see a lot of the striations there. That's the sort of thing I was talking about with you know, this would be the surface that was embedded in the actual jaw, and then the other side, the flat surface there, you can see that's the actual crushing part of the tooth, and that's what would be used to crush down on those hard-shelled prey items. So these other ones, you can see there's a really nice one here. That really nicely actually, if it will focus, yeah, there we go. So that really nicely shows the very flat side there, and then on the other side, all those nice striations. And that, so the actual, if this is the upper jaw, it'd be like that way around. So upper jaw embedded up there, and then lower crushing side. And these probably represent at least a few different species, I think, just based on the different anatomies. I don't know what they are. It's kind of difficult to find out online. But there are like kind of different morphologies that we're seeing here. So this one's, I'm assuming this is a bit of a crushing plate. It's very large and very flat on that side. And then on the other side, it's very, very porous, which is interesting. And that's quite different to obviously the striations of the other ones. I think this one's similar. So yeah, you can see the porosities there, and then the flat, smooth surface, nice and shiny. And then these are some of the ones I thought maybe could be fish, bits of fish teeth, fish pellets. They're just very like, you know, very straight edges, but they could also just be kind of parts of the ray dental plates that have weathered, like kind of split off and weathered. Yeah, not entirely sure. And then yeah, we have some really, really tiny plates here. So very happy with the diversity of ray plates managed to find. And then of course the shark teeth. I'm so pleased with these. Eddie did say that I've got a few stratalamia like lateral teeth, so like these ones here. These are going to be from the sides of the jaws, as I explained, where you kind of have lower crowns compared to these ones, which will be from the fronts of the jaws. And yeah, I quite like how we have this one, for example, is like a perfect kind of cross-section through it. So there's the crown, I'm holding one of the part of the root, and then yeah, it's just like split down the middle, which is actually really cool to kind of be able to see that. This is a really nice little lateral tooth right there, and you can see how differently shaped that is to these anterior teeth. And this has to be the best one I found, honestly. I mean, this one is basically perfect, actually, and this one is obviously quite significantly larger. And yeah, I mean, this is probably the nicest tooth I've ever found at Bracklesham, so definitely a successful hunt, and I really want to go back again. I mean, yeah, just look at these, and there's that absolutely tiny one. I still managed to keep it. It's still here. So yeah, just a fantastic fossil hunting experience, really. So yeah, that's it. Just a quick look at what we managed to find on these fossil hunting expeditions. Really hope you enjoyed watching our adventures, even though, you know, the first time it went a bit wrong. We had a very successful second attempt at that. So yeah, thank you, and do be sure to visit Bracklesham if you're ever in the area, if you ever have the opportunity. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. It's been really fun to make this year's Shark Week, and I had such a good time fossil hunting. Let me know if you would like to see more like out in the field fossil hunting adventures. They're always fun to do. So yeah, thank you so much for watching.
I really hope you've been enjoying Shark Week 2023 so far, and also be sure to head on over to my mum's channel One World to see her video about the threat of shark finning. And there will also be a video about whether sharks should be kept in captivity on Saturday. Still to come on the Benji Thomas channel is a video on the wonderfully bizarre goblin shark, and a video on Megalodon's competition with the giant killer sperm whale, Leviathan. Anyway, thank you for watching, and a big thank you to our Patreon supporters, especially our Dinosaur tier supporters, Amanda von Nordek, Clara Middleton, Daniel Ingraham, Dhruv Shrivastava, Gary Arrington, Giortist, Greg Silvernail, Corey Peterson, Loxypoo, Mark Nevin, Mendicant Fryer, Mike Pace, Monitor Man, Persian Boy, Ralph Balzac, Robert Thomas, and Steve Bradshaw. If you would like to find out more about our world, its history, and the wonderful life that surrounds us all, please feel free to subscribe to the channel if you think we deserve it, and if you would like to see more from us.